Welcome to Rewatch First Watch. I'm Keyblade Spirit.
And I am Lumia.
And what are we talking about today, Lumia?
We're talking about the only good gem show in the universe.
Gem?
Land of the Lustrous.
Oh, Land of the Lustrous, that's right.
What were you thinking of?
Gem.
Okay. Well, while Keyblade's being dumb, let's talk about the show overall. What are your overarching? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are good. I liked these last 3 episodes. They were fun and funny and dramatic and sad and tragic.
So vague.
Yeah, no, these were really good. It is... It feels like the best place to end the first season of a show that they probably weren't sure if they were gonna continue into a season 2 yet.
I'm convinced we're not going to get a season 2. I would love a season 2. But I'm just going to read the manga. Because I forgot how much I love this. And there's 60 chapters to read because this anime ends around chapter 30, between 30 and 36.
Okay.
I was doing some research. People say they recommend just starting over from the beginning. I'm just going to start chapter 30 because I want to continue the story.
Yeah, I'm probably going to start at the chapter right after the end of the winter arc.
I understand.
And then just keep going from there.
That's a smart move.
Yeah. One thing that that really activated my brain is that in the last episode we find out that Faust wants to try to communicate with the Lunarians.
Yes.
And I think that's very interesting, specifically because I'm a linguist, right? And so I really like that probably going forward one of the mysteries is going to be how is Faust going to decipher the Lunarian language? Because Alexandrite also mentioned, and once, that the main reason why we can't communicate with the Lunarians is that we haven't had enough contact with them to learn their language.
I thought she was gonna be eaten by something, and that's how she was gonna gain the knowledge like happened last time.
Yeah. We still don't know how the king figured out the Lunarian language, because we're assuming that the king was eaten and then somehow survived, and that's why she can understand the Lunarians, but we really don't know.
They haven't really gotten a lot into language, unfortunately.
Yeah. All we know is that a Lunarian made an utterance that sounded like speech.
Yes. And had black, soulless eyes.
Yeah. It seems to me like that's all Lunarians, and they just somehow have their irises hidden.
Hard to say. We don't know anything about them at the moment.
Okay, because what it looked like when we saw the eyes being revealed, it looked like they kind of rolled forward.
Yeah.
And that seems to imply maybe that was just a quirk of the CG animation, but it really seemed like that was in the back there all along.
No, I'm pretty sure that was intentional.
Okay, yeah.
If they were trying to do that, it was gonna appear, dissolving, that would be really easy to do.
Okay, so
rolling is I guess, technically easier, but animating 2D textures it's a pretty easy thing.
Yeah. Okay, so it would have been. So that was probably an intentional thing.
For people who are as good at 3D modeling as they are in texturing, I don't think they wouldn't know how to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, like they. Yeah. It's like it was probably. Like my thought is, was it. Like, was it a canonical choice or a stylistic choice? Yes, that's
Hard to. You have to read the manga for that.
okay. Because I am
I'd have to
very
say.
interested in, like, specifically now, Lunarian biology.
I mean, they seem to. I don't know. They seem to be immortal as well, in a sense. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
And
Lunarians are strange creatures.
yeah. And then we also saw we also got to meet Shiro, the big Lunarian dog thing. Like
That
a
looks
thing
like
that
an Indian god.
yeah, and it split into a bunch of Lunarian corgis.
Honestly, best concept ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was adorable, and uh,
Yeah. I love that they made plushies of them afterwards. Because Daya was so sad that they didn't get to see the Lunarian corgis.
because their eyes were broken and they were on the fucking ground. Oh,
Yeah.
Daya was a chat. Oh, by the way, Daya's entire fight against the dog thing was the best animated fight of the series.
Hard agree.
It was so beautiful. Daya's last stand was just incredible.
Yeah,
It was just
yeah, I forgot that these gems don't really die unless they're like taken or too many pieces are lost because that scene made it seem like Daya was just dead.
um.
Like that
I guess I just
yeah, like that's how it's that kind of scene is played normally in anime.
Oh yeah.
And then on top of that, eh, like early on I was expecting Daya to die like in a late game fight or something. And then when we saw that Bortz had screwed up with their strategy of ringing the bell to make everybody hold position, and that's what got Daya into that situation in the first place. I thought, oh, Daya's gonna die because Bortz screwed up. And that didn't happen, and I'm happy about that, but also like it felt very like it was very much against my expectations.
Mm.
And I respect that in a lot of ways, but also it just I don't know. Like I'm not saying it's good or bad.
The only death that actually exists, I get if you had to, was Antarctite because they're gone. As you put it, if they're taken, it's effectively death sentence. And then in the final episode, we're introduced to another gem. I'm never gonna pronounce the name, so I'm not even gonna try. Parp.
Paparasha.
Thank you. Parp is a gem that's just missing parts of their gems, and apparently they just can't fuse with any other gemstones that are being placed within them. So every once in a while, it works for a little bit of time, but not long enough,
Okay.
as we saw.
Okay, so basically Rutile's whole thing is that they're trying to get just enough Podparasha to complete Podparasha personal
Yeah,
permanently.
yeah. That's why they keep waking up and and I guess you could say sleeping.
Yeah.
And it helps Foss out on their personal journey.
Yeah.
questioning Sensei and now, I guess, working against him
Yeah. Well,
as they
we're not.
begin to discover this truth.
Yeah. Like, it's very clear that Sensei is either going to be a late game villain or just a very, or like just a subtle antagonist throughout the whole thing now. Like, antagonist might not be the right word, but like a subtle threat that we're meant to be afraid of now.
Yeah. Um, it's that I genuinely think he wants good for the gems, but I don't know what he wants, which is the beauty of Sensei as this strange position, because we don't get a lot of time with him,
Yeah.
but the time we do get just makes him intimidating enough to know that he's a big shot and he cares about the gems.
Yeah. Yeah. See, the whole. Okay. I do still expect him to die at some point. And now I'm also wondering if maybe the whole thing with Foss and the fact that they keep the fact that they keep losing parts and having to get them replaced. It makes me wonder if maybe somehow Sensei will die, like permanently, and then Foss will have to use some of his parts in order to integrate into themselves somehow.
Possibly. I kind of hope Foss doesn't change anymore because Foss has lost so much through changing, and I think Foss finally understands the cost of this kind of change.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I do think that that's reasonable. Like, I hope that doesn't happen either, but also, like, a traumatic experience like that could, like, prompt more change than what their breaking might require.
That is
You
true.
know?
We could see a I don't know, Foss is pretty overpowered as it is. I think like what Foss is like not as strong as Board, but I mean, God, Foss has got to be at least in like the top 10 gems. Actually, that's not really impressive. The top 5 gems.
Yeah. Yeah, almost certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Like,
only beaten by Sensei, Board, and no, just those two actually.
yeah, yeah, well, we haven't seen much of what Cinnabar can do yet.
True. Okay, yeah. So Cinnabar's possibly better than Foss.
Yeah.
So even so, that puts her in either number 4, number 3 in terms of strength.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I'm not sure, but I thought I saw another Bortz in that last scene. I might have been mistaken, but like I saw another gem that had the same color hair as Bortz, which I know he and looked like Daya's hair until we saw Daya later.
You
in
mean
that
the
same
blacksmith
scene.
girl?
The blacksmith one? Is that it?
There's a girl who's a blacksmith that has black hair that looks similar to Daya's hair.
Okay, that's probably who I'm thinking of.
She doesn't appear. She only has like 3 or 4 scenes because her entire gimmick is that she's the blacksmith girl.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, like her entire gimmick is the same thing as the clothing girl.
Okay, see, the clothing girl gets a lot more characterization though.
Yeah.
Like I remember the clothing one.
I don't blame you for forgetting her. I think the blacksmith girl is only like in the first episode, and then maybe in background shots.
Okay, do we know what gem the blacksmith
God,
is?
No.
Okay.
You know, it's probably on the wiki, but you know, the wiki has like authors go there to like post everything because they know everything about the series.
Yeah.
No, like
Thank God for that, by the way.
I mean, yes, but at the same time, ew. Blacksmith girl, she's not important to the plot. They probably just added her because they just figured we probably need a gem who makes, because we have a gem doctor, we have a gem clothier, we probably need a gem blacksmith.
That's
So they
true.
made a character for that because
Yeah, and at least a few characters' weapons do change throughout the series.
yeah.
So
I
that would
like that
explain
Foss
that.
uses the I like that Foss uses the Antarcite's sword. Well, not her specific sword, but the kind of sword.
Yeah, and that sword is very clearly meant to be cutting through ice.
Yeah. And it's also much bigger, so it's cool to see that in their hilt when they were walking, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was cool.
It was cool. Speaking of weapons, like this, I noticed something that is very clearly to me. It very clearly has some kind of significance. The all of the gems, I think they only use swords,
Yes.
and we. I'm pretty sure we only ever see the Lunarians using bows, like bows and arrows.
Well, they technically have the gem weapons.
Yeah, we have seen those too. Like their main thing is bows and arrows, at least at first.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason I mentioned that is because they had like the chainsaw thing made of gems and the teeth crusher thing made of gems.
Yeah, the teeth crushers were made of sapphire, by the way.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that's a specific thing that I remember.
Why are you so autistic?
I was born this way. Anyway, anyway, so it make like we've only met one of the snails, but we can interpret that as a shield, right? Like the snail's shell.
Yeah?
It makes me wonder if maybe there's some symbolic meaning to what weapons each thing uses.
Maybe?
Like, what is the relationship between swords and archery, for example? Like, one is I can't think of anything concrete that could apply to the show, but like,
I guess in historical context, bows generally did better against swordsmen because they had range. But once you got close to them, they kind of were destroyed consistently.
Okay. Because it makes me wonder if there's some relationship there in the same way that
If
gems and Lunarians interact.
Well, like bows, men, the Lunarians are from the moon, and the moon's far away from the gems.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it makes me wonder if, like we saw with Shiro, right, that not all of the Lunarians are outwardly threatening.
Yes.
So, like, and that was the first Lunarian that we've gotten close to. Maybe this is a big stretch. This is like theory crafting shit. Like, maybe it's trying to communicate somehow that the Lunarians are only threatening when they're a looming far-off threat. And then as Foss gets closer to being able to communicate with them, they'll slowly become less and less threatening.
Possibly. It's hard to say at the moment. We don't have enough information. We have 6. Hey, on the bright side, there's 2 times the amount of content in the manga right now.
Yeah, that's true. We should read that.
Yes, and then we'll come here again and talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it here.
Yeah, we'll call the final Land of Lustrous video. Until another 30 chapters come out.
Yeah, from now on, we're just gem tubers, I think.
But we barely get any views with our gym videos.
We got decent views on that one Land of the Lustrous video.
I don't know why that one did good. I'm still confused by that.
I don't know either.
We need to. We will become successful. We'll beat you, rip off Tone Kent. We know what channel we're talking about. You and the audience know too.
Yeah, that's for those who don't know. That's what we're gonna be calling our side channel, Rip Off Tone Kent.
We gotta do that. We'll make a side channel when we're big enough.
Yeah, when we're big enough to, that will be our side channel name. Rip Off Tone Kent.
I love it.
Yeah, we'll just invert the colors on our current avatar and turn it up.
Flip it.
Yeah, no, we'll do both. We'll invert the colors and we'll turn it upside down, and that'll be it.
This guy. Well, I'm gonna give Land of Lustrous a 9 out of 10.
I'm gonna agree as hard. I'm gonna hard agree as hard as a diamond.
What?
Yeah, like a hard agree, right? And diamonds are the hardest gems. Hard agree. As hard as a diamond. My agreement is as hard as a diamond. This isn't hard.
This pun is awful.
It's only awful because you didn't get it right away.
I'm sorry, I don't get your horrible, horrible puns.
This girl.
Sorry, I have taste and quality in my life.
No, you.
What?
That's right. What?
Audience, what did you like most about Land of Lustrous? What score did you give it?
Yeah.
And more importantly, why? Why is Keyblade wrong? Why is he bad at telling puns?
Look, I think that was a good pun. Why do I have the best puns, audience?
I better go. Gun damn you.
Yes. Like, subscribe, and Gundam.
Until